Today's decision from the Alberta Court of Appeal is one step in the process. The Ontario and Saskatchewan Courts of Appeal have both determined that the federal plan to put a price on pollution is constitutional. Our government will look to the Supreme Court of Canada's decision, and we are confident that the price on pollution is within federal jurisdiction. For too long, there has been too much pollution in Canada because it has been free to pollute. That is why our government put a price on carbon pollution, which is ensuring cleaner air, fewer emissions, driving innovation, and putting more money in people's pockets through the Climate Action Incentive Payment. While we would prefer to work with provinces outside of the court, we have no choice but to defend practical climate action in court. Canada is well positioned to be a leader in responsible development if governments can reach agreement around climate policy. We remain committed to working with all jurisdictions and all sectors to protect the environment.
All governments need to work together, federal and provincial, but doesn't this decision give Alberta reason to say, well, the federal government's not acting fairly here, you're infringing on provincial rights?
Well, I would say, first of all, two courts have upheld the federal position with respect to the constitutionality of this. This was a step in the process today. We look forward to the Supreme Court opining on the issue of jurisdiction, but I would simply tell you that a price on pollution is the most efficient way to reduce emissions. I do find it odd that Conservative politicians who profess to be believers in the market are opposed to a market mechanism and somehow are more interested in regulating reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. So I would say we need to work together, but we need to do it in thoughtful ways, in ways that are efficient, that are affordable for Canadians, and one of those ways is the price on pollution.
Say to the court's declaration that this is an infringement upon provincial jurisdiction,
Certainly we respect the rulings of all courts in this country, but I would tell you that the courts in Saskatchewan disagreed, the courts in Ontario disagreed, and we look forward to the Supreme Court, which is the ultimate arbiter of issues around differing interpretations of jurisdiction, to be making the ultimate determination in March. We feel confident that the federal position will be upheld. I think that Canadians, irrespective of where they live, are interested in strong climate action. People recognize this isn't a political issue, this is a science issue. I mean, the science on climate change is very, very clear. And in order to meet the targets that Canadians know, that the science tells us we need to meet, we need to take a number of different steps. One of those, the most efficient way, is through a price on pollution. I think that we need to ensure that we are working together. I certainly intend to be continuing to have conversations with my counterparts in Alberta and Saskatchewan on these and other issues. But I mean, it's also true that that's what the market is telling us. I mean, the investment community is telling us that they are looking to us to make progress with respect to climate change. Listen to the CEO of BlackRock. I mean, listen to the folks on Bay Street who are working on the sustainable finance, or to Mark Carney. I mean, the investment community is looking for concrete action, and one of those concrete actions certainly is a price on pollution.
What if the Supreme Court rules against the government?
I'm not going to speculate about what the plan B is. As I said, I think we remain confident that our arguments are sound. Our view is that we will ultimately, our arguments will be accepted, and we will proceed forward as is outlined in the Pan-Canadian Framework.